This is an overview of the compare-contrast essay. When you are writing a compare and contrast essay, you can do one of three things. You can compare, which highlights the similarities, contrast by highlighting only the differences, or you can compare and contrast. For example, in your upcoming compare-contrast essay about two careers that you are interested in, you might need to compare and contrast some things. I'm going to ask you to look at two careers and look at three aspects of those careers that are important to you. For example, you might look at income, time you have to invest in education, and work environment. Those would be three things that you could compare. So there are multiple things that you could compare, though. You don't have to choose those three specific things. You might be interested in comparing careers based on what special skills are required, or how much they challenge you, what interests you about the two careers. So you might look at two very different careers, or you might look at two very similar careers. Similar careers, for example, might be in the nursing field. You might compare being an ER nurse or being a nurse in a clinic. Those are going to have different work hours. So one might be more flexible than the other. One might require 12-hour shifts. Working in an ER might require your personality to be one that likes fast action and excitement. If you work in a clinic, you might want to have a more calm personality to keep your patients calm as they go through their regular checkups and visits. So there are different aspects of even very similar careers that you can compare. So for your essay, it should include an introduction with a strong thesis statement, body paragraphs that are going to follow point-by-point organization with specific examples. In your body paragraphs, you are going to cite sources. So you're going to use the quote burger method that is available in another video. You're going to cite the Occupational Outlook Handbook. That is a good source for discovering different aspects of different careers. Or you could use any professional website that talks about two different careers. I would even allow you to interview people who have those careers. Always, it's a good idea to make connections and talk to people about their specific careers. You can also go topic by topic, of course, in your organizational pattern as well. So if it fit better to do one career and then the next one, you can also do that. The example will show you a point-by-point organizational pattern. Your conclusion. So in your last paragraph, you're going to hit the high points that you mentioned in the essay and answer the big so what. So in a conclusion paragraph, it's really supposed to help the reader understand what they have learned or why they are better off with the knowledge you have given them in the essay you have written. But in the body paragraphs, you are also contributing to that discovery for the reader. Your introduction paragraph will introduce the two careers, and it will acknowledge how they are obviously similar or different, or at least name the three aspects that you're going to be comparing for this particular essay. And that is really part of what you're going to do in the thesis statement. So you will name the two careers, of course, and say something about the three things that you are going to be comparing. One good way to start the introduction might be to say how you became interested in your careers. So if you, for example, are writing about working in a bakery, you might talk about how you grew up baking with your grandmother or grandfather, and that has always been something that you really enjoyed. And then go on to contrast having a bakery with maybe working as a chef in a 5-star restaurant in a busy city. So that is a way to write something personal in the very beginning, the introduction. A little story is a good way to draw in your reader. They feel connected to you that way. So a scenario or a little, a bit of a story. Nothing long in the introduction. You just want to mention how you became interested in the careers. That would be very interesting. Here's an example of an introduction paragraph. I am letting you use first person, so this one is not as personal as I would have it in the beginning. If I were you and I were comparing nurses and physicians, I might start with a sentence that talks about your personal interest in the medical field, and then talk about the nurses and physicians and start to make those comparisons. So the hook statement, the one that draws the reader in, is going to be a little personalized by you. A lot of instructors won't let you use first person at all in any of the essays except the narrative, but because I'm asking you to write about 2 careers, I am fine with you using first person, as long as you don't start writing things like, in this essay, I will write about. Don't use that sort of format. That's a format that you probably have been taught to use in middle school and early in high school. And once you start to develop as a writer, you really need to get away from those things. Teachers teach that way so that students who are younger writers can remember, oh, I'm supposed to write about this in the essay because I said I was going to. But we don't want to do that anymore in college. So no more I will write about, no more this essay will be about, none of that. So just instead of saying what it's going to be about, just make it about that. For the thesis, you are going to make it clear what your topic is, make it clear that you're comparing or contrasting or both, and give a reason for making the comparison or the contrast. Every thesis should make an assertion or an argument. Thesis statements must be arguable. A thesis can also be a good place for a blueprint or a map. I call it a 1-sentence outline. When you are going to use a 3-point thesis statement, the 3 points follow in the order that a reader will expect to see them in the essay. So if you are writing an essay and you find that your body paragraphs are not in the order that you see them in the thesis, it's easier to change the order of those topics in the thesis than it is usually to go back and change the entire body section of the essay. You should have a reason to compare and contrast. The conclusion you're drawing is going to be, is this a good career for you? So you want to make sure that you are comparing 2 jobs that interest you and 3 aspects, and what about those 2 jobs and the 3 aspects are most appealing to you. It could be the kind of personality you have. It can be the kind of work hours you would like to have. It could be the kind of income that you hope to make. So 3 aspects or 3 traits or points, as it says here. So when you get ready to do your outline, you'll want to make your body paragraphs point by point. So education, job responsibilities, and specialty knowledge is the outline for this particular essay. So those are the 3 points. And for each of the points, I would do in the same order the 2 careers. So the first point, first career, second point or trait or aspect, first career, second career, and so on. And you could have more than 3 body paragraphs. If you want to compare 4 different things, feel free. You are welcome to do so. Topic sentences. So each of your body paragraphs will have topic sentences, and they should address the what and the why and the how. What are you comparing? What is the aspect or the trait of that career or the two careers that you're comparing there? So this is an example where the education is what's being compared. So that's a good topic sentence for the body paragraph. After the topic sentence, you want to discuss each career's point. You're going to cite the Occupational Outlook Handbook, or you could use another professional website, but the easiest one to access is the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and I have a separate video for you showing you how to use that and how to do the works cited for that. So we're going to notice in the body paragraph, I have two citations. Both are from the Occupational Outlook Handbook, but they are different articles. So in the Occupational Outlook Handbook, which is the entire website, I have the entire website italicized, and in parentheses, because there is no author, there are many, many authors for the Occupational Outlook Handbook, but there is no named author. So because there's no named author, I start with the title of the article. So both of those items in parentheses, the parenthetical citation, would match up with what comes first in the works cited for that source. And you can watch the works cited video after you watch this one. But let's look at the body paragraph example. I have put it in quote burger colors. I expect you to use quote burger colors. There is a different video for how to use the quote burger. The reason for the quote burger is to make sure you understand the function of each sentence. So the first sentence is a topic sentence, the main idea. That's the top bun, main idea sentence. And then the red is the catch-up. It's the introductory phrase. It tells my reader what I'm quoting. I'm quoting the Occupational Outlook Handbook. And then the quoted material should be typed exactly as I found it on that website. If I need to leave anything out or, anything that doesn't change the meaning, I could leave out and use the ellipses. I cannot change, though, what the intended meaning is. Because you could make anything say anything if you just use ellipses, and that's a dishonest way to use a source. Notice there is no period at the end here, even though there was a period at the end in the original text. It goes after the parenthetical citation. The next sentence restates the quote in my own words or reiterates the importance, something significant that you noticed about the quotation. Then I have, this is like a double burger, right? I have two quotes, two meats. So I need another bun in between here. So this bun, this part sums up, it's like the bottom bun for this paragraph. And then in contrast, I have this comparison transition phrase. So I'm saying that this is, it's a contrasting, I guess comparison technically means I'm talking about similarities, but in contrast means I'm talking about differences. But it is a good way to connect the two ideas using a transition word or phrase. So make sure you do that. Then I have a for instance here. I'm still quoting the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and my reader can see that I'm citing my article from the Occupational Outlook Handbook, so it's not totally necessary that I repeat according to the Occupational Outlook Handbook. They'll see it in the source there. So the conclusion will re-emphasize my points of comparison, restating my thesis in a new way. So you can see an example of, I have in bold, the thesis restated in a new way. And then I leave my reader with the answer to the so what. Why is this important to know?